I'm not going to go into too many details, but I mean, I've seen those types of characters around crypto,
Yeah.
right? And
I absolutely
they're
believe it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. But
Yeah.
like, there's people in certain countries, right, that basically are like, hey, this is my only out. And then there's some people, in certain areas of the world or life situations where they're like, okay, they feel like that with that scarcity is basically what it comes down to, right? I always feel like with money, and I kind of said this yesterday a little bit, but anybody who has that scarcity mindset, yeah, in everything, right, tends to steal, right? They
Absolutely.
tend to take. They're very self-absorbed,
Right.
that type of thing. But the people who have abundance mindset, who really understand kind of how money flows and everything, once you really understand, where money is in your life and where it fits in the world properly, it's kind of like magic. You can do a lot of things with it, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, the details, right? And like I think a lot of people, yeah, they just tend to do that too much, and it just, I think with the internet, it's easy to do, so that a lot of people do it. That's it. It comes down to laziness for a lot of those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
completely get that for sure. I'm sure that's rampant, especially in your space when there's so much volatility and there's so
One
much.
is the Wild West. I
Bro.
mean, there's
Yeah.
no rules.
We got a lot of these banditos out here. That's for sure.
That's funny.
But there's something you said to me last time we were here in Vegas that was so fucking powerful, man. That I think about it like every once in a while, man. Like it is like the man that you see before you, I built. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to say some of the personal stuff you told me about and stuff with family and stuff, but like you told me, like I could have ended up like this, and I am this. What you see on camera
Yeah.
is something that I built painstakingly. Can you go into that a little bit, because that was one of the, like, the way you said it to me that one day was like one of the most powerful things I've heard in a long time from somebody. It was just like the camera sees a Chad, but this Chad, this was not a Chad. This was not a, like my life could have turned out so much differently if I fell into these other pitfalls and stuff. But I personally chose to go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So I always say that there's another version of me that lives in South Louisiana. He drives an old Z71, lives in a double wide trailer. He's 40, 50 pounds overweight. He's wearing a fire retardant suit right now, and he's an Exxon. And he's complaining about not getting a $2 raise.
Damn.
His old lady is fat and ugly, probably cheating on him. And he's balding. I mean, like everything, like the whole thing. I see these guys all the time in Walmart. These 6'2", blue
The guys
eyes.
who never left town.
Yeah, never
Yeah.
left. Never looked. And that could have easily been me.
Mm-hmm.
Easily been me. And I feel like those guys are in pain. But most importantly, is like when I look at myself and, I'm very hard on myself, but I do try to remind myself often that I could have ended up in a much different position.
Right.
And I did work very, very hard to create the person that I am. And I'm still working very hard to create the man I'm going to become. And for me, there's no dollar amount that any of us are ever going to be happy with. So the way that I do my life, and we talk about this, like I have that rocking chair test.
Yes.
The way I make my decisions are actually, I look into the future when I'm 90 years old and I can live life no longer. And all I can do is look back at the 37-year-old version of myself and say, did I make that old man proud? When he is sitting there in the rocking chair and he's looking back at me, will he be proud of the man that I was trying to become and ultimately became? So I keep that relationship with myself. It's actually in my phone. I make videos to update him on how I'm doing and I make decisions based off of whether he would smile and be proud of me. Would he think I was being a little bitch because I was scared and I didn't buy that mobile home park? Right. Or would he be proud of me for figuring out how to get the guy to take interest only and drive the rents up and do what I needed to do?
Right.
And so I live my life in constant judgment from the older version of me looking back, because I want nothing more than to make that man proud of me.
Yep.
And ultimately in your life, when you're really, really thinking about, when you're really alone in your thoughts, the only person, and I don't think this is new information, the only person that you really should give a fuck about being proud of you is you.
Yep.
And so for me, keeping that very structured relationship with that version of me is important. And I want him to be proud of how I was building myself, because I know that if he looks back at me and says, son, you did a really good, I'm super. And I look back at the 27-year-old version of me, and I'm fucking proud of that kid. Because that kid came from nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? He overcame a lot of things, you know, even to this day now, just use fitness alone. I'm about to have my 6th surgery on this shoulder. Yeah. I've had it replaced, and but I'm fucking like 1-arm push-ups, or like putting a strap across my chest so I can squat, whatever. I want to be fucking proud of that man. And I think that if you can create that kind of that relationship with yourself, right, where you're answering to you and you look up to him, you can almost become your own father in a lot of ways. And I think a day that a man really becomes a man is when he does not need anybody but himself as a moral compass. Because I think even now, like, looking to your father for that ultimate guiding principle, you've not become your own man yet.
Yeah, you need to basically think for yourself, like you said before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you really want to make him proud of you, you will be that kind of man, because everybody can respect as a man that follows his own heart.
Yep.
Right.
And that's really what you want to be, is a man that follows your own heart, regardless of what anybody else thinks, and the own conviction that you trust your own decisions because you're thinking for yourself and you trust yourself. Yeah. And a lot of young men don't trust themselves right now, and they're looking for guidance and they're looking for all these things because dad wasn't around, so they don't have a blueprint. But ultimately, those answers are in their own heart. It's just whether they're going to take action and make the older version of themselves proud.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that take. It's a good, because it's all about perspective, right? Like, as long as you are, and this is why I think traveling is so important for people. Right?
Absolutely.
Because it just changes your perspective, right? And so if you can kind of go like what's 180 from, and this is why I kind of hate the media in America right now. It's just, they don't take the other perspective ever into account anymore. And that's what we were taught, right, when we were growing up. Hey, if you want to, talk to people, debate them about whatever, you don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to be friends about everything, but at least do that. And there's not enough people, I think, in America specifically, probably mostly America, but a lot of places in the world is true, but mostly America. I mean, it's at a different degree for people in different countries, right? But because they've never shaken up the snow globe per se, right? They end up becoming that alter ego, the unfortunate version, living
of
in that separate
themselves,
universe.
bro. Absolutely.